It's week 20 of lockdown Twitch trivia. Pop culture style. At Netherworld, we are streaming live from the dungeon. And when I say we, I mean me and Nicolas Cage, and Scott in Canada, and the skeleton, which we should name by the end of the night. Oh god, put that in there. What is up? Yeah, that's just not happening. What's up? I feel like I had something to say and I've immediately forgotten. I'm distracted by my need to wee. I know for a fact that we have the Lemon Stealing Whores in the chat room. We have Vin Diesel's Electric Mayhem. I think we have Russell Crowe's A Beautiful Mind. We have the bitches. Hello, bitches. All beautiful, familiar faces. How's everyone doing? As the majority of us, because I assume the majority of us are in Brisbane, remain relatively free, but a few of us are not so free. But I do have a special question for some of our Melbourne residents. Peace be with you. May the force be with you. May the face mask be with you. Oh, nice. Geralt of Trivia. They're back. Brisbane and quarantine for COVID tests. Oh no, I'm sorry, Chucky Newt. That's a real pain in the pants. Oh, yes. Cara beat me to it, but Cara is our fabulous mod tonight, and I'm scandalized that I didn't know beforehand because I haven't got any Tom Cruise content. As you all know, Cara is the host of the excellent podcast Cruisin' for a Reviewsin', where she and one other person review a Tom Cruise movie. Something else about Cara. No, yes, I forgot to message you, Cara. Excuse me while I do this little bit of correspondence over the stream. I forgot to message, but I've done a Kevin Bacon for tonight, and would you mind judging it because it's a little bit too much to judge as I go. It's okay if you say no. I understand. Let's move into the night. Starting with the rules, which I will power through because I know that we're all like week one clingers at this point. No offense, I am as well. So I'm pretty sure you know the rules. No Googling, of course. Obviously, this is a trust-based trivia, but there are no real prizes for winning. So if you cheat, all you have is an ugly conscience on your deathbed, which may be sooner than you think given the current environment. Phonetically it still counts. No answers in the chat. Obviously mark your own sheets and then upload, as you know, your final scores to the Google form, where you also request themes, and I got some very interesting theme requests last week, let me tell you. Looks like Scott's still in Canada has joined us. I bought Edge of Tomorrow on Blu-ray the other day. That's the only recent Tom Cruise fact I have. Edge of Tomorrow is a brilliant movie. Cara, have you done an episode of Edge of Tomorrow? And can it be me that does it with you? Oh my god, there's so many fun facts flying out in the chat. How many minutes can Tom Cruise hold his breath for? I want to say 17 minutes, although that seems crazy, so I'm not feeling good. I've abandoned my rule slide. Post the comics. You all probably have that Instagram handle by now. We had some lovely poems. I love the poetry feature, and because I think we need a little boost this week, we're bringing poetry back. We're going to do a comic competition and a poetry competition. As you know, the comic winner does win a $30 venue voucher. And as you also know, the venue is open. We are obviously seated and restricted by numbers, but the reason we are in the dungeon and not listening to any music is because the venue is open upstairs. Wrapping up the Spotify. Here's the winning comic from last week, and isn't it a bloody ripper? What was the answer to the Tom Cruise question? Wait, Scott, I'm also babysitting my girlfriend's sister's cat. My girlfriend's sister's cat, who hasn't stopped hiding in the basement since getting here yesterday. Updates from the group. Caitlin wrote a ton of great poems for uni last week, but heck if I can write a single line now. We'll draw some shit though. Excellent, that's what I like to hear. The answer is 6 minutes as per the behind the scenes from Mission Impossible Rogue Nation. Everyone take note of that Tom Cruise fact, because I may just ask it to you one more time in the future. I wanted to include Heather's comic from Team Hidden Ham because it was brilliant and gorgeously done. Here is the runner-up comic from last week. It was in relation to the Bunnings Karen. More updates from the group, and yes, by all means, if you're unfamiliar with this little ritual, do tell us what you've been up to, because quite frankly, you're the most company I've had in 20 weeks, so I'd like to know what you're doing with your life. Grace has managed to convince a uni group to do an assignment on capybaras, which is amazing. Very well done. Please share your favorite facts about capybaras next. Everyone enjoy this comic. I am changing slides. Oh, look what I found on the internet when I was writing my trivia. I just wanted to alert everyone down in Melbourne or in Victoria or in New South Wales where face masks are mandatory that you just have to think creatively, and it could be quite a joy. It could be a real joy wearing a face mask if it's got this man's face on it. So just putting this in the notice board to remind everyone to think laterally about their PPE. All right, let's get into it, I think. Let's start. Let's begin. Get my leg up here. Get ready. Round 1, question 1. Scribes, get your pens out. A little bit of Twitter. We're starting with a little bit of Twitter, and we're ending with a little bit of Twitter. Which artist now famously, because I think it has turned up in a few BuzzFeed articles since this happened, tweeted this at the start of lockdown in March. The tweet says, "During lockdown, while many other artists are doing mini concerts from their homes, I thought I'd do you all a favor and not." Slideshow is a little off center. Oh shit, it is a little off center. You guys are so astute. That's a bit better. Must have done a little doozy on me when I wasn't looking. Ah, there she goes. I think is that looking good for you? It's looking good on my end. Lovely. Tell me who tweeted this. Arguably, and I'm willing for you to submit entries to suggest otherwise, but arguably the best tweet of lockdown. But you tell me if you disagree. Shall we move on? This seems so narrow, but I'm going to assume that more than one team knows this. Looks like Vin Diesel have it. Did Vin Diesel win last week? No, Hidden Ham won last week. And it was so exciting. It was their first win. So Hidden Ham is the team to beat. All right, moving on to our questionable cosplay. For the night, tell me the character based on the cosplay. As always, I will give you a half point if you can guess the film or the TV show or the game that it is from. To those who want a hint for the first question, I was listening to a lot of one of this person's most famous albums when I started year 8, when I started high school, which was... When did I start high school? 2005, maybe? Do not quote me on these dates, but I remember listening to a lot of one of their albums when I was like contacting my books at the start of year 8, which I think was 2005. So that might help you. And I think it was a bit of a moody choice for a 12-year-old. It was a bit moody for a 12-year-old, I have to say. Those are your hints for question 1. I truly have the funniest thing to show you all next week if someone reminds. Oh, the most embarrassing thing I've ever done in my life was how I contacted my books in year 8. I've got some absolute bangers. I'll include it in the notice board for your pleasure next week. Moving on to question 3. For 3 points, name the 3 golden goddesses from the Legend of Zelda series. Now, if you don't remember their names, I will give you a half point for what they're goddesses of, which are... So, yeah, I think you know what I mean. Like, goddess of fertility. Hint, none of them are the goddess of fertility. But if you can give me that kind of equivalent answer for all 3, I will give you a half point if you don't know their names. Grace is sharing... Oh my god, this is a fun get to know you game. Grace just shared that she tore out pages of Smash Hits and Disney Adventure magazines, which I'm sure a lot of my pictures came from that as well. Please tell us how you contacted your books when you were in year 8. And when I say us, I mean me, Nicolas Cage, Scott, and the skeleton, and everyone else in the chat. Okay, it looks like we have one team that is across our golden goddesses. Animal theme contact, you know what, Kat? That absolutely checks out, and I love you for it. Life should be fun for everyone. I'm so sad I can't inflict the songs that I used to inflict on you, but I hope you're all listening to some great stuff. I'm gonna move on because no one's telling me that I shouldn't, I guess. Question 4 is the perfect example of you get what you ask for as far as theme requests are concerned. I would like you to identify the film from the Chris Evans butt. I do want specific titles. Tell me the film based on the butt. I hope the person who requested Chris Evans' butt is playing tonight. 1, 2, 3. I wonder if I can... No, that would be dumb. Just thinking out loud, just thinking out loud. I'm going to move us on, I think. Now, question 5. Feel free to screenshot this question if you'd like a document for your quiet time. Question 5 is a little bit of a 2.0 because I know that my Pokemon sound question from last week, I think I made it a bit hard because even the hardcore Pokemon fans struggled with it. And so I'm doing a redo for question 5, which I have done only Gen 1 Pokemons. So we're going to listen to the mashup of Gen 1 Pokemon game cries and identify the 4 Pokemon. Again, all Gen 1, all pretty early in the Pokedex. I have a feeling that this is going to bust your ears open, so that's my warning if you've got headphones on. Here we go. Let's have a listen. Love the confidence about Chris Evans' butt. By the way, Herbert Powell. Let's have a listen to this again. Here it comes for a third time. And I'll play it another time unless anyone asks for more. You let me know if you need to hear that again. I'm open to playing one more time. Did everyone see Henry Cavill's Instagram post of him building a computer over the last week? Because someone told me about it and then I watched it and it was really great. And I thought you'd all appreciate it. Okay, do this one again, but with the noises they make in the cartoon. If only. Okay, we're going again. Here we go. And just because people in Melbourne are in lockdown, let's have it one more time. I'm glad that so many of you have watched Henry Cavill's, oh my god, say the words right, that Instagram post. And actually, to be honest, I knew you would have seen it. But in case you didn't, you know what to do after this. Question 6 is worth 4 points as well. Identify the 4 album names and artists from their cover art. So I'll give you a half a point for the artists, a half a point for the album names. 4 in total. I don't know if Cara responded, but do you mind judging the Kevin Bacon challenge, which is basically Kevin Bacon, everyone sends it to the Netherworld Instagram message, and then you tell me who won via a Facebook message. I'm sorry to talk shop, everyone. She said no. Thank you, Cara. Thank you. I appreciate it. Sorry, I forgot to message you. This hasn't been up very long. I'll leave it up for a bit longer. I'll just sing some tunes in my head. 4-pointer. 4-pointy. Nothing wrong with that. I can hear the sounds of the valley through that door. It's nostalgic and reminds me of my feral days, which I am only now in the dotage of. Anyone got 4 out of 4? Boop, 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 boop. Anyone got 4? I've tried to ask a little bit more music this week because normally we don't do much music. And I know we've got some fans out there, so I'm just trying. I just changed regions in England a few times then. Alright, I think we're pretty sweet. Let's move on. Question 7. Oh! Subjective 7, I always forget. I have a feeling. Actually, you know what? Let me predict nothing. Who is the most important, best, most precious pop culture icon out of Canada? The reason I've given a few qualifiers is because sometimes I choose a qualifier and then everyone reads into it a lot. So I've just kind of been broad. I have chosen the qualifiers specifically, but I've been broad. So I want the best pop culture icon out of Canada. Now that extends to actors, actresses, musicians, comedians, whatever, pop culture related. It is a real person. It's a real person. It's not a fictional character. Not a fictional character. And because I know, look, the Canadians do it right. There are some crackers who are Canadian. That's why I have extended this to a shortlist. So I'll give you a half point if you get anyone on the shortlist. There's 4 people on the shortlist. And now I don't want to erase anyone's backgrounds, which I'm about to do, but I did limit it to people that are like Canadians and not Canadian Americans. Like there's some famous people who are like awesome and that may have made the list, but they're Canadian Americans, and I've limited this to like Canadians #pure blood, which I don't mean. By the way, obviously you have to decide whether you want to choose who your fave is and put that, or guess what you think I've put. And sometimes I do try and line up with a zeitgeist, and sometimes I'm just like, fuck it, this is what I want. So that's on you, and it's just like a fun mental exercise we play every week. Either way, I do want to know what your answers are after we mark them. Thank you so much, Grace, for referencing Robin Sparkles, because I was this close to including a picture of Robin Sparkles on the slide. Wow, Anonymous in Oz, I know exactly who you're talking about. This is fascinating. I'm excited. Make a guess with your team. Don't make a guess, make a decision. All guesses are valid with the subjective 7. I guess guesses are always valid, but they're even more valid for a question that has no right answer. Let's move on. Question 8. In the Umbrella Academy, what is one of number 5's powers? A, controlling knives, B, teleportation, C, reality manipulation, or D, communication with the dead? Wow, my capitalization got a bit crazy with D. Bottom 2/3 of pop cultists are doing trash. I'm so sorry, but I know that team has a lot of talent, and you've won both the poem and the comic before now, so there's going to be something in this view, I'm sure. Yes, Scott in Canada, the answer is officially you, and I hope you know that this subjective 7 is dedicated to you. Okay. I just realized when I said comic theme that I haven't thought of a theme. Does anyone want to share? Has anyone thought of what's a good news story from this week other than stage 4 lockdowns, which, is a heavy concept? Is anyone actually playing from Melbourne tonight? Let me know. We've got stage 4 lockdowns. We've got racist media reporting. What else has been happening this week? Nice. Okay. Welcome. Part of Quizzes. We do have a Melbourneite, and our heart goes out to you in stage 4. Yeah, let me know if you've got any ideas for the comics. Because I can't sanction the official start until we have something. Comic idea: how salty Canberrans are with Queensland right now. I like that. You know what? Because it's so broad, let's do the second wave again, stage 4, but that's super open. You can talk about Melbourne, you can talk about Canberrans, you can talk about like Queenslanders, just like on a knife's edge, whatever you want, whatever angle you want. It can be about your own life. I actually love those ones because I'm super nosy. Oh, nice, another Melbourne. All right, welcome. I'm glad we have some Victorians in the house tonight. Yeah, let's do stage 4, let's do second wave, let's do all that shit. Do whatever angle you want. The winner gets a $30 venue voucher. And even if you aren't in this part of the world and can't use the voucher to eat food, you can probably go online and use the voucher to buy some cool merch. So even if you live in Melbourne, there's something in it for you. Even Scott, maybe one day you should enter the comic competition and we'll send you a shirt to Canada. I promise if that happens, I will pay for the shipping. Let's move on. Question 9. Former MTV video jockey Adam Curry is said to have invented or played a large part in the invention of which form of media in 2004? Yes, thank you, Chucky Newt, for the reminder. It is poems as well as comics. So you can write a poem if you don't fancy drawing a comic. I will say that the poems, because it's just something that we just started to do ourselves a few weeks ago and didn't ask anyone, the prize is just a pin. Well, not just a pin. The pins are amazing. But the prize is a pin for the best poem, and the $30 voucher is for the best comic. So, and just to repeat, which I know you probably don't need me to, but just in case someone's computer glitched out, we're going to do broadly second wave within Australia, and you can choose whatever state you want to talk about. It can be personal, it can be political, whatever. Just, you have to incorporate monsters. I always forget to say that in Twitch. Monsters. Alright. I have a guess for question 9. I'm going to move us on to question 10. We had a request for more WoW because we've obviously got some major World of Warcraft fans. Because I get WoW requests every single week. It's another this or that, which are my favourites. This week it's World of Warcraft spell or energy drink flavour. Number 1 is Acid Spit, 2 Farmer Oats, 3 Solaris, 4 Enviga, 5 Hell Energy, 6 Moonfire. It is worth 6 points with it, which is extremely unfair if you don't know anything about either of these things. But that's the way it is sometimes. It could be an even split, it could be all over the place. So you just vibe out in your tum-tum what is correct if you don't actually know. When you're lost in the dark shore, you could give in to... No, that's wrong. When you're lost in the park, sure, you could give in to the dark, or you could trip a little light fantastic with me. Happiness is a warm gun has rightly commented Farmer Oats, ? Which I realize is the real outlier on this list. All right, we'll hold her up for a few more seconds and then we might move on to our Kevin Bacon game, which we haven't played in a few weeks because we haven't had Ben modding, but because we have the wonderful Kara who has just as much, if not more power than Ben, we can play it. So, a few more seconds. I'll explain the rules in case you need to know. Kevin Bacon is a little game we play where we try and connect Kevin Bacon to an actor who I will reveal, or a celebrity who I will reveal. You need to make the connections through films, but not like TV shows or music videos or crew. Stuff all that. Make the actor connections through films and you have to do it within 6 moves. And for this game, the first person to message the Netherworld Arcade Instagram will win a fun pin. Let's see what's happening in the chat real quick. Sleetax C says, at Netherworld Arcade, hello, if you need real free and high quality service to increase your viewers, check streamdetails.co. Top streamers already use it. Anyway, let's move on. Prepare your Instagrams. Remember, you're messaging Netherworld Arcade. You're not messaging me. I've already explained the rule. Find the shortest route as possible between an arbitrary actor and prolific actor Kevin Bacon. No more than 6 steps to be valid. You need to have it right and be the first person to message Kara the right answer on the Netherworld Arcade Instagram. All right, let's do it. Please find a quick connection, and this is for a Netherworld Trivia pin, which, as you know, you can only win if you win Netherworld Trivia, except for in this dark patch we called the Twitch years. Please link Lindsay Lohan to Kevin Bacon. And don't message me. All right. I'm going to go ahead and assume that someone's got this right. Nice. We have a winner, which I will reveal when we do answers. Let's move on to question 11. Which actress links the films Marie Antoinette, Husband and Wives, and The Dressmaker? Alrighty, give me an actress that links the 3 films. Actually, tell me if you know this. I'm curious. I might need to give a hint. It's a little bit more challenging than some of the linking questions. Alright, a few of you are all over it. Except Happiness is a Warm Gun, who's not seen any of these films. That's fair. Some of them are pretty good. None of them make the best of lists, in my opinion. Although I am a Sofia Coppola fan. And I am an Australian film fan. And I am a Liam Hemsworth fan. And a Kate Winslet fan. But don't go out of your way, mate. Alright, cool. A few of you have it. Let's move on. Question 12. What was the name of the restaurant where Homer was poisoned in season 2? Was it A, Fugo the Fish? Was it B, the Happy Sumo? Was it C, Sushi of the Sea? Was it D, One Fish, Two Fish, Blowfish? Grace in the chat has said Virgin Suicides is the better Sofia Coppola film. That is true, but I would argue that many of her films are the better Sofia Coppola film. Or at least Lost in Translation, which I think is the best. Yeah, I think it goes Lost in Translation, then it goes Virgin Suicides. I quite like her film Somewhere. Has anyone seen that? And then I think it goes Marie Antoinette, and then I think it goes Bling Ring. I never saw The Beguiled. It's on the list. A, B, C, or D. It's as simple as that. Let's move on. Question 13. Very sorry that you're all wearing face masks when you go out, Melbourne. And Sydney now, is it? Or soon to be Sydney? Soon to be New South Wales. Please identify the film from the themed face mask. These were as hard as I could make it without doctoring my own, because Redbubble does not know the meaning of nuance. Tell me the 4 films from the face masks that you can purchase. They are purchasable. And currently for sale online for like $16. Vin Diesel has a 4 out of 4. No surprises there. How are the rest of us doing? Nice. Geralt of Trivia, which I assume... I think Vinny has been part of Geralt of Trivia this whole time, but I just had this idea that he switches teams. So you correct me if you're not in Geralt of Trivia. Nice. I'm going to move us on to question 14. Who was the first character to say the phrase Game of Thrones in the show? Game of Thrones. You know it doesn't have... Actually, you know what? I'm not going to rag on Game of Thrones. That's so done. So tired. It's just so tired. I will say, though, I somewhat enjoyed watching Game of Thrones, but I'm proud to be someone that was ragging on it from the start and not just after the last season, because I feel like really sad for the for the creators of Game of Thrones that everyone like just hated them after the last season. That seems just cruel. It's like they made the show that you loved for years. Like they literally gave up their personal lives and they made this show and you loved it for years, and then something didn't go right and then everyone was a little shit about it. Not into it. You hear me? And thank you. I'm glad that Grace enjoyed the last season. I didn't mind it because I'm a little bit indifferent to Game of Thrones, so I understand that it doesn't impact me as much as some things do. But that's all I'm saying. Those people who made that shit, they worked hard. And it's hard to get it right. It's hard. Shall I move on? Probably. Let's do it. An audio question. Let's listen to this mashup of songs. I would like to know the 4 artists and the 4 song titles for the 4 points. It's all around babes and babies. I'm sure a couple will be familiar, or maybe even all 4.
Oh, baby, you got me, baby, 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 baby. Oh, baby, you got me, baby, 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 baby.
Played it a couple times. I'll play it max 4 because the songs are pretty well known.
Oh, baby, you got me, baby, 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 baby.
Last time. Here it comes. Last time.
Oh, baby, you got me, baby, 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 baby.
Twinnings, in response to my Game of Thrones rant, has said, but you're talking like they just pissed the bed, Arika, but they shat the bed. Again, I know that my opinion will never be valid because I'm not diehard, and I understand that I don't have that, like, hold. It doesn't have that hold over me, so I get that. So, I understand the feeling of being betrayed by a fandom. But generally, I feel quite sympathetic to people who make TV shows and movies. Question 16. Oh, this is a bit random. This might seem like a random outlier question, but we had a request for the last couple of weeks. We've had 2 people request fashion. So, kind of a linguistics question, kind of a fashion question. What does the French phrase prêt-à-porter mean? And I forgot to look up the pronunciation, which I will do now. I'm gonna just quickly look this up. Ooh, someone wants the songs once more, and it's Hacklocked, and I do love Hacklocked, so I'm gonna go back. Here's the songs once again. Not that I'm, giving anyone special treatment. Here we go.
Oh, baby, you got me, baby, 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 baby.
I'm only favoritizing, not a word, Hacklock because they drew a really good comic last week, and this is my reward because I didn't give them any vouchers. Okay, back to Pret-a-Porter, and I've got a pronunciation thing.
Prêt-à-porter.
Pret-a-porter.
Porter.
Pret-a-porter.
Prêt-à-porter.
That's how it's pronounced. Pret-a-porter. And if you're French, I am sorry. have a guess. It's always fun to have a little guess. Question 17. Thank you so much to the person who requested The Fast and the Furious. You know I'm a big fan. What car does Dom have waiting in his garage in The Fast and the Furious? Is it A, a 1971 Plymouth Barracuda, B, a 1970 Dodge Charger, C, a 1971 Dodge Demon, or D, a 1967 Ford Mustang Fastback? Poco Trout, you're right. There was a real Italian influence on that. I hope that everyone's working on their comics and their poems. Surely go in for the poem competition because you don't even have to do anything other than use your brain to make words. No tools, no craft supplies required. I seriously hope that someone out there knows enough about this to know that oh, God bless stupid sexy Goldblum. I almost cried when that beautiful car got wrecked. Me too. A, B, C, or D though. And we're gonna move on. Question 18. In which card game would you peg out to win? Which sounds very fun and naughty. Which card game would you peg out to win? Okay, Scott, still in Canada, has a fun fact for us all again, which I love, and I know you can all read, but just in case you can't, I'm going to read out the chat. Despite doing no mocap whatsoever for the character, when Vin Diesel did his voice recording for Groot, he showed up to the studio wearing stilts so he could get more into the head of being a tree. Oh, I love it. I love it. I just love it. Shall we move on? I'm going to assume we had a lot of chat about pegs in the chat, but I'm going to assume that some people know this answer. A Poco Trout says, teach me how to read, Arika. I think we all know that I am not going to be the best teacher you could choose. Alright, let's move on. Question 19. Big news for movies this week. This week, Disney announced it will be releasing which major film straight to Disney Plus on September 4th. Bonus, how much will you have to pay for it? Jumping all over the continent. Two points. 1, tell me the film. 2, tell me the exact cost that you will have to pay to watch it. Nice. Looks like a few teams are all over this. Have a guess. At the very least, you can guess a cost, even if you don't know what the film is. Shall we do the last question for round 1? I think we should. You might need to get close because I had to do tiny rating. But you could be watching this on your TVs. I don't know. For 4 points, round 1 is worth a lot of points. Don't ask me how many, but it's a lot. A lot more than round 2. Okay, so here are 4 famous movie misquotes. So famous quotes that have been misquoted throughout time. I would like you to write down the actual lines from the films. If you have printed out a sheet, an answer sheet, you may need to flip it over and write it on the back. If you're on your computer, you're rogue and you have so much power and freedom and do what you want. I would like you to write out the correct quotes. Of course, I'm gonna give you the point if you've written down the correction. So even if you don't want to write out the whole quote, if you've written down what the correction is, I will give you the point. For 4 schmackles. Maybe I'll read them in case you're having trouble reading. Misquote number 1. Mama always said life is like a box of chocolates. Number 2, fasten your seatbelts, it's going to be a bumpy ride. Number 3, we're going to need a bigger boat. Number 4, Mrs. Robinson, are you trying to seduce me? Tell me where the misquote is. Tell me what the correct quote is. For 4 points. I didn't know how to add any accent to number 2 because I genuinely can't remember the delivery of that one. It's a bit old school. I'll give you 30 seconds. I'll give you a minute. Have a minute, and then we're going to do our first Nicolas Cage clue. This guy up here. I probably don't need to tell you, but just in case I do, I'm going to give you a clue at the end of each round for you to guess what is hiding in the Nicolas Cage cage, which is funnier if you can see it, because you can see Nicolas Cage's face on it. It can be anything. It can be a game. It can be a movie, a film. Movie and film, that's the same thing. It can be a film, a TV show, a book, whatever. An actor, a singer, whatever. I will reveal what category it's going to be. It isn't necessarily Nicolas Cage related. And again, if you've got 2 clues, and if you guess it right at the end of round 1, you can add 5 points to your team. If you guess it right at the end of round 2, you could add 3 points. And as you all know, I know you all know, the first person to Instagram message me their guess as an individual will individually win a trivia pin. Someone is asking for question 9 one more time, please. Yeah, why not? Let's scoot back just real quick. That is question 9. Sorry for the flicking. And then when we're done with question 9 for this team, I'm going to reveal to you our first Nicolas Cage cage. There she is. There she is. Here we go. Okay. This week's Nicolas Cage cage, rather excitingly, is a book, which we haven't, I think we've done before, but seldom. Very occasionally. Again, take note of that Instagram handle. I'm sure many of you have it already because we've done this every week for the last 20. Again, we're just getting the first clue. It's the first jumping off point. It's just the jumping off point. But you go out and guess. The first person to get it to me correctly will win a pin for themselves. If you can get it right at the end of round 1, that is a 5 points to add to your team. Here we go. First clue. I'll give you a minute or 40 seconds to have a think about this, and then we are going to mark the answers. So scribes, prepare your bodies and your sheets. We're going to do the answers real soon. Alrighty, are we ready? I'm moving on. Nice. Thank you to the chat who are absolutely behind Happiness is a Warm Gun. Are we ready for answers? I'm ready. Nice, good. I assume you're ready. I can hear you all saying, I'm ready, I'm ready. Question 1. Goodbye, my lover. Goodbye, my friend. You have been the one. You have been the one for me. I'm so hollow, baby. I'm so hollow. I'm so hollow, baby. It's James Blunt. Not James Blake, who has been posting a lot of concerts from home, but we forgive him because he's excellent. Question 2. Donnie Darko. Of course it is Mr. Donnie Darko. To answer your question, Vinny, yes, 12-year-old Arika had some shit going on. What am I doing here again? That's right, doing answers. Donnie Darko, question 3. As I promised, I will give you a half point if you said what they're the goddess of. So I wanted Din, Nehru, and Farora for 3 points. But if you said power, wisdom, courage, but didn't know their names, you can have a half point. So half point for power, half point for wisdom, half point for courage. It must be noted that you cannot have an additional half point if you said both. Let us carry on. Question 4. A was Avengers Endgame. B was Not Another Teen Movie. C was Avengers Age of Ultron. Age of Ultron. I've just got a message which I will check in case it's someone telling me something about trivia. Oh wow, Sans Undertale people are although I appreciate the nuance of saying Sans Undertale, I'm sticking with Donnie Darko because it's literally the suit with the skeleton on it. That is the Donnie Darko look, and the person in the cosplay hasn't done their face up in skeleton masks. I appreciate your meticulousness as always. And yes, C is Age of Ultron when he's hitting the punching bag. Question 5, we had Charmander, Caterpie, Spearow, and Pikachu for 4 points. I'm sorry, I'm not going to give Sans a point. And I know that's harsh. I know it's harsh. But they didn't do the face makeup. And you would do the face makeup if you were going as Sans. How much do you hate me? Ooh, some people are saying, oh no, punching bag scene was first movie. And you know what? It may have been. Let me look it up. Punching bag. Steve Rogers punching bag scene. Now I'm watching the punching bag scene. Oh wait, it's not working. Everyone's saying it's Avengers, and obviously 91 people are probably stronger than one. But I will just check that in the break to make sure. I very well could have accidentally written down Age of Ultron. Question 6, we had Tame Impala, The Slow Rush. We had Hayley Williams, Petals for Armor. We had BTS, Map of the Soul. We had The Strokes, The New Abnormal. As I said, I will give you a half point for the album names and a half point for the artists. 4 points in total. I love how many people jumped in about the Chris Evans butt. I'm sure you're right, but let me just check to do my due diligence. I said pedal armor. I'm giving it to myself. Yes, you know what? I think you can have pedal armor. That's pretty bloody good. You can have pedal armor. 4 isn't what kind, 4 isn't what we'd call a charismatic mega word. 4 points. I'm going to move this slide right along. So, reminder as I show you subjective 7. Obviously, the answer that I want is the only one that gets 1 point, but the next slide is the shortlist, and if you get anyone on the shortlist, I will give you a half point. To me, the answer is, of course, without dispute, although I'm sure I'll get some, Joni Mitchell. And Joni Mitchell, just the both sides now. I'm Joni Mitchell. I'm Joni Mitchell. Here's the shortlist, but also please tell me if you got Joni Mitchell because we should hang out and be friends. Here's a shortlist: Keanu Reeves, Alanis Morissette, Ryan Gosling, Ellen Page. Keanu Reeves, Alanis, Ryan, Ellen. Look, to be honest, I was playing to the fans with Ryan and Ellen. Keanu and Alanis are truly aligned with me. I don't care about the others. Did anyone say Joni? I'm sorry I didn't include Celine Dion, but I just don't care as much about Celine Dion as some people. But quite frankly, I'll admit it was an oversight not including Celine Dion because she is an icon. I should have put her on the shortlist. I'm sorry. She should have definitely kicked out Ryan Gosling. Yeah, I'll admit Celine Dion was an oversight. However, let's all agree that Joni Mitchell still beats her. And I thought a couple of people might say Bryan Adams, but you know what? That's just not what I said. Oh my goodness, a Poco Trout, who is my absolute pop culture whisperer and tells me about all the things I need to watch, has just informed me about a great Alanis song. Anyway, let's move on. But also tell me if anyone said Joni, because I will love you forever. Question 8, it is B, teleportation. He also time travels. Again, I know that Canada has so many great people. It's a great country. I went with some of my faves, and then I sort of threw in a few very famous people to appease the gods. But now I've realized that I should not have thought of you so basically. Sad that no one said Joni. Moving on. Question 9. It's podcasting. Adam Curry is credited. He's called the Podfather. Question 10 is... Oh my goodness, yay! Someone did say Joni. Thank you, Dr. Dre69. And Stupid Sexy Goldblum, I have to say, I'm sorry, Drake was so close to being on my list. I took him off last minute, just because I thought that I hadn't been, like, basic enough on my list. But, you know, Drake's so famous. So yeah, Drake was definitely on my personal list. Question 10, it's worth 6 points. Acid Spit is World of Warcraft. Farmer Oats is like a weird-ass coffee energy drink that I think Monster did. Solaris is an energy drink, and Vega is an energy drink. Hell Energy is an energy drink. And Moonfire is World of Warcraft. And I promise I will make it up to Celine by asking a question about her next week, because that one truly was an oversight. 6 points, only 2 World of Warcraft, 4 energy drinks. Alright, here we go. Oh, that's right, Cara has sent me the winner of our Kevin Bacon challenge, which I will proceed to look at. Oh, very nice. Was in Bloodworth with Earl Jones, then he's in Black Mass with Kevin. Wait, Earl Brown, not Earl Jones. Autocorrect. Mystic River. They both starred in that movie. Lindsay was in Bobby with William H. Macy, and he was in The Murder in the First with Kevin. Checks out. Tia Hurling, congratulations, you have won the Kevin Bacon. I will message you to get your details, and we will send you out a trivia pin. Oh, fabulous. Question 11, Judy Davis, the excellent Judy Davis. Well done if you got Judy Davis. That was a bit trickier than normal. Question 12, it's B, the Happy Sumo. Question 13, it is Clerks for A, B was Total Recall, C was The Shining, and D was For a Few Dollars More. For a few dollars more, 4 points. 4 points. Let's start our own line of face masks where we do less obvious pop culture references on them. And I am going to stand tall and strong for a few dollars more. By the way, even though I know that there's a few others that you could argue, that I'm going to stand strong for a few dollars more. Cersei Lannister, of course. Question 15. I Want You Back, the Jackson 5. I Got You, Babe, Sonny and Cher. Baby, 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 TLC. And Don't Worry, Baby, the Beach Boys. Again, I'll give you a half point for the artist, and I'll give you a half point for the song. Holding it up for 3, 2, 1. Question 16. Ready to wear, pret-a-porter, which I know I said in an Italian accent, but the Google pronounce thing that I looked at said it that way. So if anyone would like to record them saying it in a French accent and send it to us, I'm all ears. Well then, if you got this, that was pretty tricky. I could do Subjective 7 for New Zealand people. That's a good one. That would also be tough because Taika Waititi is obviously amazing, but like, think about all the other good Kiwis, like Jermaine Clement, other people, like those two. Sure, there's some other ones. That woman who's the cop in Hunt for the Wilder People. Marlon Williams, my dream boy. Peter Jackson. Jacinda Ardern, obvious choice, but if we're going in a pop culture realm. Oh yay, glad that there are some Marlon fans. Let's move on. Question 17. It is B, 1970 Dodge Charger. Happiness is a Warm Gun who has a mate who recently moved to Wellington, who is obviously awesome because Wellington is the best city in the world. Well then, if you got Dodge Charger, moving on to question 18. It's cribbage. You peg out in cribbage. Super saucy game. Question 19. It's of course Mulan, the live action, which to be honest looks fucking excellent. Definitely looks like the best Disney live action that they've made, in my opinion. I did want $29.99. If you said $30, you can have a half point, which may seem brutal, but it's a cruel world we're living in. $29.99 for the bonus, Mulan for the point. I am fine if you said, I didn't need you to say USD, and you didn't need to say US dollars. $29.99 will get you the point. Happiness is a Warm Gun. You auto-corrected the hell out of that. Well done. Question 20. Okay. Our misquotes. Mama always said life is like a box of chocolates. The actual quote is Mama always said life was like a box of chocolates. So it's literally just the was instead of the is. It's past tense. Fasten your seatbelts is going to be a bumpy ride. Bumpy ride is actually bumpy night. That's from All About Eve. It's bumpy night. We're going to need a bigger boat. It's you're going to need a bigger boat. So we're and your is swapped out. And this one's a bit different. Mrs. Roberts said, you're trying to seduce me, aren't you? Those are the differences. So if you said them all. Oh, nice. Vin Diesel got 4 out of 4. That was tricky too for some of them. Have a look at how you did. I am going to move on to round 2, but not before we have a cheeky break. 7 minutes in heaven of your own houses. So choose to do what you will. You can do a lot in 7 minutes. You can do a lot in 7 minutes. What? I think that was all you... Oh, maybe do you need more time on that? I think we're good. Make sure you lock in with your team what you're going to guess for Nicolas Cage, because it might be right, and then you might get 5 points, and then win the whole night. In the meantime, let's go to our fancy Be Right Back screen, and we'll be right back in 7 minutes. In the meantime, also post your scores in the chat so we can chat about it. Site cutting it off 10 seconds early. Looks like we all did pretty well. Hidden Ham 34 and a half. Happiness is a Warm Gun got 32. Lemon Sling Horse got 69. Maybe the highest I can see is Vin Diesel's Electric Mayhem with 40 and a half. Let me just scan real quick. Scanning. Oh, Russell Crowe got 41. Russ got 41. They did. All right, Russell Crowe's Beautiful Mind is currently on top of the leaderboard, but only by half a point. Round 2 is worth considerably less points, so let's see how we go. Question 21. Which band with a hit song from the year 2000 sang these lyrics? I know that I can't take no more. It ain't no lie. I want to see you out that door. We had some good scores though, won't lie. Everyone was up in the 20s. I am giving the Avengers boxing to you. So if you said Avengers 1, you can have it. I did a little Google. Admittedly, I couldn't find anything conclusive in the short amount of time because I also needed to wee and get beer. But I believe you, and if for whatever reason it turns out to be incorrect, I will do something crazy next week. So you can add a point if you said Avengers. I'm not so not humble to assume that I am not wrong. I have to refrain from trying to sing this. How are your comics going? I haven't got any comic submissions yet, but I also haven't checked in a while, so let me do that. Remember, poems are allowed. Oh wait, no, I have. I'm sorry, I lie. Poems are allowed this week. I'll give you a pin for the best poem, just to honor the wordsmiths. There's a few nice comics actually. I lie. I should have checked my phone. I'm going to move us on. Let's move us on. I'm going to assume someone knows this. Question 22. Which AFL footy team does Kath from Kath and Kim support? Is it A, the Richmond Tigers, B, the Sydney Swans, C, Collingwood, or D, the Western Bulldogs? In case you were wondering, I support Collingwood. Actually, I don't give a flying fuck, but I was raised to support Collingwood. Alright. A good poem is coming in from Connor. Very nice. Lovely. A, B, C, or D. Make a choice. Take a chance. Something. And break away. What song's that? I can't remember. Oh, that's right. I'll spread my wings and I'll learn how to fly. I can't remember who sings it, but I know it's on the Princess Diaries soundtrack. Speaking of, let's all get together and watch Princess Diaries 1 and 2 because they're great movies. It's Kelly Clarkson. There you go. Moving on. 23. Which two actors sang and recorded with Russell Crowe's band after the three of them had made a movie together? Was it A, Guy Pearce and Simon Baker? D, is it A, D, or Z? B, Leonardo DiCaprio and Robert Blossoms? Is it C, Kevin Durant and Scott Grimes? Or D, Joaquin Phoenix and Thomas Arana? Obviously, I am talking about 30-odd Foot of Grunts, Russell Crowe's fabulous band. This one goes out to Team Russell Crowe. However, interestingly, Team Russell Crowe did not request this question. I believe this is a Rude Dudes Full of Tudes question. Thank you, everyone. Jimmy just brought me chips. Seeing as we tested that they don't make a sound on the microphone, I can enjoy chips all the time now. Yeah, this one came from Rude Dudes, who always just requests singular actors or filmmakers. Scott wants us all to know that his lunch is packed for work. What are you eating today in Canada, Scott? Thank you for the double confirmation about the chip crunch. I'm going to move us on. Question 24 to the Disneyland fans, and I know for a fact that at least 3 regulars have been to Disneyland because, I don't know, they're just real good at saving or something. They've lived a full life. Please tell me which city would you find this Disneyland Cinderella's castle in? There's a Cinderella's castle in a few cities, but have a look at this photo and have a guess. If you've been there, great. If not, use your powers of deduction. Scott, I truly wish that I lived with you and you could make me delicious food like what you just described. I will come and visit you. I will. Okay, let's move on, I think we're ready. Yes, actually, Kara, it must be said, is basically an expert. Kara, and I assume Ben, but maybe just Kara, has been to so many Disney parks and is quite the font of knowledge. Alright, let's move on. And we're going to watch a little video. I do like these second summaries. Haven't done one in a couple of months. So here we go. Let's have a watch of this clip of Vince Vaughn describing films in very short summaries to Jimmy Fallon. There are 3. He describes 3 films. All you'll get is the few seconds of his description, and you tell me what he's talking about. I'll play it a couple of times.
I'm a little kid. My parents went on a trip. Your money, baby. Dinosaurs.
So quick, so quick. Here it comes again.
I'm a little kid. My parents went on a trip. Your money, baby. Dinosaurs.
All right. I will say I'm going to be strict with my marking of this. Not that I'm marking anything, but I am going to be strict. Okay, we'll play it 2 more times.
I'm a little kid. My parents went on a trip. Your money, baby. Dinosaurs.
The third is quick and hard to hear. The third is a 1-second summary. Here it comes again.
I'm a little kid. My parents went on a trip. Your money, baby. Dinosaurs.
All right. All right. Moving on. Question 26. Oh, I couldn't get enough of our new male celebrity from their doppelganger question from last week, so I'm bringing the feature back very soon for 3 points. Identify the male celebrity from their animal doppelganger. Thank you. I've got some lovely poems coming in. I think I've leveled up with question 26. I think these doppelgangers are a bit harder than last week's. You might need to take a screenshot of this and just keep glancing back to it. Yeah, that's what I'd recommend. Take a screenshot. Have it open on your desktop. Keep glancing back. By the end of the round, you should have a few ideas. Alright, let's move on. Question 27. Heavens to Betsy was an American punk band that are known for contributing to which musical movement? I would say it's a musical movement, but it's also kind of a social, political movement. Damn, Netherworld chips are good. Alright. Have a crack. Have a guess. Let's move on. Question 28. Thank you to our team who requested this local question, and I apologize to those who are in Melbourne and may not have ever been Brisbane locals. Identify the 3 Brisbane theatres from their interiors. I do want the name of the specific theatre. 3 points. This will pay back to those who have spent a lot of money on theatre tickets in this city. Ooh, lovely. More comics coming in. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I think if you're in Melbourne and all of your team is in Melbourne, you can have a bonus point. I should have put a Melbourne theatre in there. Next time I do anything local, I will include Melbourne. Nice. It's good to see who the theatre rats are. And I say that with love and identification and solidarity. I would like... I hope you know what I mean by this, but I want the specific name of the theatre. EJ wants bonus points. You know what? You can have a bonus point just for participating. Alright, let's move on, I think. Question 29. What is the converted mana cost of the... Now, I like to say Nicole because I like the idea of this creature being called Nicole. But Nicol Bolas, God Pharaoh, Magic the Gathering card. So what is the converted mana cost of the Nicol Bolas, God Pharaoh, Magic the Gathering card? Is it 5, 7, 9, or 12? Five, 7, 9, or 12? Alrighty, moving us on to question 30. A bit of a prop question. This menu is a prop from which 1996 film? So, there's a couple of interesting clues on the menu itself. We have, on the various meats section, battered plutonium sausages, curried ET meatballs, the Hub Spatial, see Blackboard, Mighty Truckers Platter, Chunky Pork Stew. A few clues in there. Tell me the film based on the prop. Happiness is a Warm Game? Gunn had a tragic update from his lounge room. Bit too much of the Tim Tams, and my Tim Tam slams were a failure. I'm so sorry. I made the mistake of buying knockoff Tim Tams the other day, and I tried a Tim Tam slam. Absolutely didn't work. You truly need the authentic Tim Tam to get that right. Just wouldn't suck. Wouldn't dissolve. There was no softness in the middle. Can't remember what the names of the knockoffs were, but it was something like Yam Blams. Does anyone know this? I understand where you went wrong, Warm Gun, because the double coat does make you think you need to bite off more. But it's not about the coat. It's about the biscuit inside, and that hasn't changed. I'm going to assume you know this. I'm going to move on. Question 31. What is the name of the fictional kingdom where the book series Ranger's Apprentice is set? Is it A. Araluen, B. Gorlin, C. Redmond, or D. Wensley? Stupid Sexy Goldblum is 70% sure that they've got it, unless that was for the other question. I think it was. Hopefully our Rangers Apprentice fans are here tonight. They have requested Rangers Apprentice quite a bit and I've ignored it, and I'm sorry. And next time I promise to ask an even harder question about Rangers Apprentice. Question 32. A logo challenge made slightly more difficult because all of these logos are for companies that have now dissolved or are defunct. They are kaput. Please identify the game companies from these logos and I will give you 3 points. I think next week I'm too bereft at the idea that we're not all listening to the same music, so I'm going to try and do some crazy Spotify logging out and logging in and see if we can't get our backing tunes back. That's my personal goal for the next 7 days. Who's feeling good about question 32? I promise that you've all probably heard of a game or a game series that they've all put out. They're not super obscure. Nice. KCW84 has got it, unless that was for the other one, which it could be. I never quite see when they come up. I'm listening to bardcore song covers done in the style of tavern music. Oh my god, that appeals so much. Can you please post a link? I think we all need that for our D&D playlist. Bardcore song covers done in the style of tavern music. I'm ready to die now. Question 33. What do these 3 celebrities have in common? As always with linking questions, I do want the answer that I want, not an answer that you find. If you say they are all cis women, you will not get a point. For instance. Oh, thank you very much for the link, Kat. The city cat wants to know who's the last girl, and unfortunately I cannot tell you because it would give it away. Well, actually wouldn't explicitly give it away. This question's a little bit sneaky, but I also think it's not subjective. Like, there is an answer. Again, them all being actresses is not the droids that we're looking for. The answer is not that they're all actresses, even though they all are actresses. They all have a special link. A unique link. Does anyone think they have a theory? Don't tell us what it is, just tell me that you have it. Stupid Sexy Goldblum has an excellent guess. They all shower in the nude. Potentially. Although, we can never be sure. I'm going to leave this one behind. Not say any more. And then I'll learn from my mistakes and never ask a question like this again. Question 34. Was flageolet belongs to which family of musical instruments? Sorry, chip mouth. I'll stop eating the chips. Flageolet belongs to which family of musical instruments? For our musicians, we have a couple of people who are professional orchestrators, so I hope that you know this. For some reason, speaking like this makes me want to watch Narnia, which is a great film and is often overlooked. I'm talking about the new one, newish one, the one that came out many years ago, but still looks new. Ooh, we've got more poems coming in. More poems. Nice. We've got so many comics this week. I love it. I love it. It's fantastic. Another poem. Save 2 photos. Absolutely. All right. Shall we move on? I think we shall. Question 35. I brought a little bit of Christmas into this week because I am a Christmas fan, even though I am not religious, and I know it's a consumeristic holiday. Rituals are important, and I like Christmas. Shoot me. Please answer this question. What does the next sign say? I've asked about Love Actually signs before in December at Christmas time, but I've never asked about this sign, so I would like you to tell me what the next sign says. Gary in the chat has highlighted a very divisive truth that obviously we all know Love Actually is either loved or hated. This scene particularly is often debated on the message boards, in the chats. I am guilty for being someone who does love it. I also think it's weird. The reason that I think it's weird that people hate Love Actually, everyone's like, this is so anti-feminist, and it's just like whiny dudes, and like all of the women who have their main stories, they're like not even that empowered, and she gives her life up for her brother, and blah blah blah. And I'm like, every single movie, 99% of the movies you have watched your entire life are like so much worse in terms of having 3-dimensional female characters. How can that be the reason that you don't like Love Actually? But then I do understand that that's not a good enough excuse to like defend something that might be problematic. But I just find it interesting that people like fight so hard about Love Actually when there are like when it's like, at least they're like people, and in my view, they actually have a bit of texture. I don't know. My opinion isn't fully formed, but I will absolutely defend that Joni Mitchell scene with Emma Thompson every single day of the week. Super Sexy Goldblum hates it. Carl, if that's romance, I don't want it. Me too, babe. Me too. Worth for what I could say. You're not alone. I love it. Thank you. Thank you, Jack. At least Cara doesn't like it because it's a bad movie. That's fair. I just like it, and I think it's a great movie. And I love Richard Curtis, and I won't apologize. But I know that some of the things that I love are dangerous. But I also just don't think it's that dangerous. But I'm so happy to have a long discussion. Alright. Lauren Stardust has said the reason they go harder on it is because it's a movie aimed at women. It gets put under the microscope. Yes, I think that's absolutely true, Lauren Stardust. I think it's absolutely true. And if it wasn't a rom-com, they wouldn't be like, well, where are the good women in this? And we're like, lol, we stopped looking. No one ever makes good women in films. Obviously they do now. There's a lot of great stuff happening. Speaking of, did we all see that Miranda July has a new trailer out called Kajillionaire? It looks amazing. Question 36. In Dota 2, what is Windranger's real name? Is it A, Nim, B, Lyrelai, or Lyrelai, C, Morena, or D, Lena? Let's see where the Love Actually chat got to. CityCat has said you should just watch About Time because it's clear superior. I have seen it and I love it. Again, Richard Curtis fan, and I'm sorry if that offends you. Bottom 2/3 of pop cultists are absolutely hands down last place tonight, but our poem and comics are fire and we think we are hilarious. I am very here for that level of self-confidence. Die Hard, yes, agreed. Great Christmas movie. So many ladies and still doesn't pass the Bechdel test. And yet I still love it. Yes. Well, I'm glad we agree, Grace. You know what? A lot of films before 2011 didn't pass the Bechdel test. But there are many nuanced ways to test a film. Mad Max Fury Road, one of my favorite movies of all time, probably doesn't pass the Bechdel test. And yet. Wow, all this Christmas chat has made me very hungry for Christmas. And I'm ready for our Christmas trivia in December. Let's hope it's not online. Question 37. It's one of our features, which I love, called Arbitrary Lists on the Internet. In 2015, Rolling Stone magazine unsurprisingly named Jimi Hendrix number 1 on their greatest 100 guitarists list. Who was number 2? Alright, Brit's telling me that Fury Road did pass the Bechdel test. Okay, well that's good. I mean, I think the Bechdel test was very rightly so made, but was more powerful in what it broadly illustrated. A lot of films have no talking at all and they're amazing. Grace makes a great point. 2020 is anarchy. Just do Christmas now. Maybe we could choose a week and we'll just do Christmas things. But I could be encouraging premature log-offs. And I still want you all to hang out on Wednesdays. I'm so proud of you all. There's so many poems and comics this week, everyone. Good job. Who thinks they've got a good guess? Obviously, we're making a guess unless you've seen this list. But I feel like this person would come up in the top 4 people that you think of. Nice. Happiness is a warm gun is all over this one. But they're usually all over the music questions. Let's move on. Question 38. What sort of mythical creature is a wyvern? A wyvern sounds a little bit like raven in a Cockney accent. Or wyvern. It's a wyvern. Or an Australian accent? I don't know. I clearly missed my calling as a linguistics professional. 38, go for your life. 2 more questions to go, and then our last Nicolas Cage clue. And I have to say that a few people have got it right, but overall, far less people have messaged me answers. So I have a feeling a lot of us are struggling with Nicolas Cage, and then a few people who are the outliers have got it right. Moving on, question 39. Haven't asked an Academy Award question in a while, and boy do I love them, as you know. Which movie won 7 Academy Awards at the 86th Academy Awards held in March of 2014? Don't quote me on this, which should be what you write on my gravestone, but I think Ellen DeGeneres was the host of this year. Also, I keep seeing all these headlines about Ellen DeGeneres, but I'm haven't cared enough to click and read the articles. What's going on? Something about toxic workplaces. How do we feel about it? Someone get me up to speed. I'm not going to Google it right now. Nice. Chucky Noob. First question you were solid on. I am so glad. We got one in before the end. Oh, wow. Ellen DeGeneres is bully and she's mean. Treats her staff like crap. Whoa, this is crazy. I should have clicked on those articles. Wow. This is huge. You've given me enough info that I will look it up now. Is Ellen like one of those people who got rich and then became a god and then didn't adjust and then didn't treat people like everyone else or were terrible, like JK and Joss Whedon? Yeah, not into anyone who hires writers during the writer's strike. Sticking strong to that one. Fascinating. Thank you for the update. I appreciate it. I will look this up more and get informed. Question 40, our last question of the night. As I promised, we started with Twitter. We're going to end with Twitter. In a new feature I'm calling Who's That Handle? Pontifex is the official Twitter handle of who? For our last question of the night, of course, we have our Nicolas Cage clue, Dos clue coming up. Wow. People have to chew gum before entering her office. Screams at people, won't let them look at her face, fires people for tiny things, just a shit person around. This is explosive information. Because I saw a few headlines and then I saw Katy Perry today being like, in my personal experience, Ellen's great. And I'm like, what did Ellen do? Question. Well, we're done with questions. What am I talking about? No questions left. I'm getting distracted by the Ellen gossip. Who is ready for our next Nicolas Cage clue? It does concern you, even though someone has guessed it correctly, has already guessed it right. It does concern you because, as you know, there are points hanging in the balance. So here is our second clue. We're after a book. Here is our second lot of clues. Go for your life. Thank you, Chucky Newt, for being supportive of me in my sad, sad dungeon. And thank you everyone for being fine with me eating chips. Maybe you're not fine, but you can't tell me because you're at home. Wow, she made Taylor Swift cry. Well, that I'm obviously going to get mad about as a Taylor Swift fan. Slash, did anyone listen to Folklore after we spoke about it last week? I had to stop listening to it because it was making me too sad. Alright, scribes, you know what to do. Prepare your bodies, your brains, your sternums, your tum-tums, your nether regions for the marking process that's about to happen. Let's do it. Answers, baby. Question 21. Bye. It's NSYNC. We need to ask more questions about boy bands. Somebody requested. Question 22. It's the Richmond Tigers. Question 23. It's Kevin Durant and Scott Grimes, or C, after they were in the Alaska film, Mystery Alaska, something Alaska, I've forgotten. Question 24, it's Tokyo. Well done if you got Tokyo. 25, Home Alone, Swingers, and this is important, Jurassic World. Jurassic World was the film. I'm only going to, if you said Jurassic Park, you can have a half point. I wanted Jurassic World. And I'm sorry for being so particular about that. 26, we had Gordon Ramsay, Taylor Lautner, and David Mitchell. It was a little bit trickier this week, but I'm standing by the choice. Gordon, Taylor, David. I didn't write their names because I assumed that you knew them from their pictures, but I'm sorry if that wasn't the case. Question 27, it's the Riot Girl movement, which was a music movement, but it was also obviously very social and political. Either way, Riot Girl is the answer. Question 28, A was the Playhouse Theatre, which was part of QPAC. B was the Judith Wright Center of Contemporary Arts. If you just said Judith Wright, totally fine. I'm going to give Judith Wright a point. And C was the Princess Theatre. Well done if you got the Princess Theatre. That's 3 points. Question 29, that is 7. It'll cost, the converted mana cost is 7 for the Nicole Bolas Gold Pharaoh. 30, it's Space Truckers. I'm hoping that the spatial and the truckers gave you enough of a hint on the menu. Question 31, it's Araluen. Araluen. It was not, in fact, Gorlan, which is on the title, which is on the cover of the book. It is Araluen. Question 32, A was Sierra Entertainment. B was Budcat. Do we remember Budcat? They made all the, I think they made all, if I'm remembering correctly, they made all the Guitar Hero games. And Hudson Soft. Question 33. Oh, yeah, come at me if you hate this question. They are all famous Rachels. Jennifer Aniston is a famous Rachel. I've already forgotten her name. Danica someone. She played a famous Rachel in One Tree Hill. And don't tell me that's not famous, because One Tree Hill is great. And obviously Meghan Markle famously is, her first name's actually Rachel. Did anyone get they're all Rachels? And yes, I'm sorry, and I never have to ask you a question like this again. But I love a little bit of lateral thinking. Oh my god! The Team City Cat, they got it. And Billie Eilish Sit on My Face got it. I love you guys. Nice. Nice, guys. Very impressed with your brains. Question 34. Woodwind. It looks like a clarinet or something. Looks like a flute. Looks like a recorder. Question 35. Just because it's Christmas. And I'm sorry. to all of the anti-Love Actually fans, or non-fans, anti-fans. Just because it's Christmas is the answer. If you got pretty close, you can have a half mark, I think. Something about Christmas, have a half. Question 36. It is B. Lyralay or Lyralai. I would assume it's Lyralai, because Lorelei ends with EI as well. Lyralai. Question 37. Eric Clapton. Good old Eric Clapton. Well done if you guessed Eric Clapton. That's very well done. Question 38. Dragon. I'm clutching in my brain for a Harry Potter quote. Dragons! That's the first task! Question 39. Gravity. Something in front of me. That John Mayer song. Question 30, 40. Question 30, 40. Question 40. We all ready for bed? It's Pope Francis. Pope Francis. Actually a real laugh to follow on Twitter, and I would recommend it. Are we ready for our Nicolas Cage reveal? I'm just going to do a big old shout out to the very clever person who got this first and got it pretty early. Actually got it a bunch earlier than anybody else did. Let me just whip out. I'll just whip it out. Let me find it. Okay, here we go. Someone wants to know what question 29 was. I truly need to go back because I can't remember off the top of my head. Oh, it was B, 7. 29 was 7. Now, back to Nicolas Cage. And a huge congratulations to Caitlin from the Lemon Stealing Whores, who got the answer to me the fastest. Of course, in the first slide, I had a picture of salt, I had a picture of a TV, I had a picture in the second slide of Violet and a bucket, which is all the names of all the children from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Well done. Caitlin got Charlie and the Chocolate Factory to me first and quite before anyone else. So Caitlin, I will message you, I'll get your contact details, and we will send you a pin. Amazing. And boy, Jack, I have already declared it was Avengers 1. You were right, Avengers 1. So make sure you add that Avengers 1 point to your final score. As you all know, before you log off, do upload your final scores to the Google form. That is where you can also request themes for next week. Yes, we will be here again next week because the world isn't quite ready to peek its head out of its hole. In the meantime, if you're sitting on your comic or your poem, send them to me now because you have about 1 minute. 1 old minute to get them to me because I'm going to start judging. And yes, as a reminder, I know I've already said it, but you can post your scores in the chat, but you do need to post them on the Google form if you would like me to include them in the leaderboard, which I post on the Netherworld Facebook page. All right, let's start judging. Let's start a judging. Very good. This is good. This is some good stuff. Um, all right, I have all of the things. Okay, I'll start with our poem winner. The poem winner, as you know, will be sent a Netherworld pin. This winner this week comes in the form of a haiku. The haiku is called Wednesday. Uber Eats coming. Subjective 7 was wrong. Trivia Wednesdays. Well done to Carissa for your haiku. Your poem has earned you a pin. I'll send you a message and we'll send that pin out to you and you can wear it proudly alone in your house. You'll have to tell me who won the comics because I do have a picture, but I haven't screenshotted the name, but I'll also go back through my Instagram and see who did it. But the winner of tonight's comic was amazing. They drew a Magic the Gathering card, an ultra rare Magic the Gathering card, and the picture is a ISO Millennial, which is the name of the card, Stage 4 Evolution, skilled in bread baking, target opponent scrolls, past 3, hashtag quarantine baking, -5 whenever ISO. It goes on. I won't bore you because I know it's boring to hear comments read out and not look at them, but I will put this on the notice board next week, and well done to the author, the artiste. I will go back through my gram and find out who sent that to me, but you have won a $30 Netherworld venue voucher, and well done to you. And well done to Carissa for the lovely haiku. Don't forget to upload your final scores to the Google form right now. Do it in the next 3 minutes because I'm going to make the leaderboard up in the next 5 minutes. But that's us for the night. Thank you so much for joining. As always, it's a delight. We are here for you if you need us because the venue is open. Maybe just book because there's limited spaces. Be safe and request some crazy themes to keep me entertained.